Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up for you. Oh my gosh, there's so much going on. Japan's largest bank files for a Bitcoin XRP ETF. XRP ETF approval in the U.S. We're going to talk about it. 2017, 2018 bull run in 25. You're going to love it. UAE goes full throttle on XRP. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. We have a great one lined up for you. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and DigPerspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $3.79 trillion market cap for crypto. Market's off 0.8%. We're still under $4 trillion. We see 114,000 plus for Bitcoin, 3,500 plus for Ethereum. XRP's $2.95, off 2.9 in the 24 and 3.3 on the 7-day. At a range of price between 291 and 303. And you know what? I was sleeping and missed that dip is what I missed. But I tell you what, if you were to use Caleb and Brown's brokerage properly, which I could have done and didn't because I just didn't take the time to do it, you could set your market orders up, and if you're not sure how to do that, you don't need to be sure, because you can speak to your prime broker, and they will set those market orders up for you correctly, and you could have caught that dip all night long and never lost an ounce of sleep. How about that? Free institutional grade custody, no hidden fees or spreads. That's a beautiful thing. Not to mention multiple layers of security, as well as, because of that incredible human customer service, you can also put some special restrictions on your account added on top of that multiple layers of security. This is a great place to check out to see if it's right for yourself. I tell you, this kind of level of attention and detail, ease of use, convenience, and security is exactly what I'm looking for, and I know a lot of you are too. Make sure you go to xrpwealth589.com and sign up for your free account today and get started. You're going to love it. In case you missed it, the SEC has declared crypto liquid staking activities are not securities. This is a very big statement from Paul Atkins in the SEC. First of all, if you don't understand what liquid staking is, that is staking on a proof of stake network. This is when you're putting your assets on a proof of stake network up to earn other rewards and assets from that, right? So that's what that is. And this is a huge step forward to start to define the space. Gary Gensler would have never put this statement out. And boy, oh boy, now if you haven't seen my first video this morning about Ripple and XRP under massive attack, it comes from the most unlikely source, I'm afraid to say. Caitlyn Long has gone hard on Ripple and XRP, claiming that it is a centralized network, and many other false comments and unknowingly false comments. Caitlyn Long is a liar, and I withdraw my invitation to speak at XRP Las Vegas, which I just reached out to her to do because I have always supported her getting a master account for Custodia Bank. And I'm sure she'll be okay without me. But I know for a fact, after the lies I heard her spew, and you can go see it in the first video, I'm better without her. The only thing she's managed to do is lose a ton of support from many different communities, including the XRP community. I can no longer put my full support behind her getting a federal master account now that she's proven to be such a liar. And here is some of the things that she lied about. Here's Vet right here, saying Caitlyn Long has no clue what she's talking about, but she talks with such confidence about it. Ripple never did an ICO, which these are all things that Caitlyn claimed, and she claimed it. Ripple never did an ICO. XRP was worth nothing when the ledger started, and all 100 billion put into the Genesis account. The XRP ledger is decentralized. Either it's ignorance or lack of education to still insist otherwise. There's nobody preventing you from joining the network, run infrastructure, or even fork the code base. We have thousands of nodes and 100+ validators run by individuals and businesses, the same people you deny exist. Mind-boggling. ETH did an ICO. Bitcoin was taken to get ETH distributed to initial investors. Ripple Payments uses the XRP Ledger, and Real USD is also issued on the ledger. There's a lot of progress on the XRP Ledger, growing business use cases, developers, functionalities via amendments, and very deep liquid network supported by a native decentralized exchange. The very DEX and tokenization platform in existence, the XRP Ledger. And I tell you, she has just gone on and on and on to make all of these false, erroneous comments and claims. Shame on you, Caitlyn Long. We've supported your efforts for Custodia Bank for so many years. And for you to turn around and make so many knowingly false claims about Ripple and XRP is a bridge too far. Caitlyn Long lied, plain and simple.
The president's after the right thing, which is the laws, rules, and regulations around our industry became used to cause things to happen. It's whether it's BSA, ML, whether it's KYC, whether it's reputational risk, and you heard Tim Scott quote about it. It is right to go look at these rules, because at the end of the day, they are causing decisions to be made that can be looked at in retrospect and made differently. We should get these rules right. So our company, my colleague companies, the industry has been working with the Treasury Administration today, in this administration, trying to figure out how to get these rules balanced so that we're not subject to this swinging back and forth in this after the fact look. So the president's on the right issue. He asked me about it in Davos. We were there. Right. He talked about it this morning, and I welcome getting this fixed. At the end of the day, we bank 70 million consumers, more small business than anybody else, 12 million small business, more middle market companies than anybody else. We bank everybody. But the reality is we want to make sure that the rules and regulations don't cause decisions to be made that then are looked at in the aftermath and dealt differently.
I totally agree. And shout out to the CEO of Bank of America, Brian Moynihan, for laying that out. They're ready for it. Look, Bank of America knows how much they'll benefit. Remember, a couple of years ago at a swell, Nick Virafedo spoke with Brad Garlinghouse from Ripple, and he said Bank of America was excited about the opportunity to use crypto. So it is a massive moment that is coming. And obviously, some of that fire from Caitlyn is because she hasn't gotten her Federal Reserve Master account, which I think she deserves. But to lie and make the claims against Ripple and XRP as she done is absolutely unconscionable. And you can't continue to get support from people when you're going to turn around and do things like that. So now I will say this, Bank of America acknowledging, the CEO acknowledging that the crypto debanking is on its way. And banking as an industry is about to embrace the living daylights out of crypto, offering services, products, and stable coins. SBI Holdings, valued at $214 billion, has submitted an application to launch ETFs for XRP and Bitcoin. This is the largest bank in Japan, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Yoshitaka Katal. Yeah, SBI is a Ripple partner for many, many years. Look, all of this to me is obvious that, you know, everything from the real USD to all the activity on the XRP Ledger and all of these things have been waiting for legislation to become law. We are in and crossing that threshold, the Rubicon, if you will, as many people used to say back in the day. We are crossing the Rubicon, right? And that really is true. And I believe once we get legislation that becomes law, we're going to see the power of what Ripple has been doing for more than a decade. You're going to see the adoption and the power of the XRP Ledger and how it will be used inside of the financial system. Meanwhile, we hear this. XRP ETF to be approved by September and October in the U.S. This comes from Bloomberg's Eric Balchunas. Says an approval could come as early as Q3 with the SEC softening and the Ripple case wrapping up. And I say, you know what? Bring it on. We have about 18 to 20 XRP spot ETFs waiting for approval. And if we get them in September or October, that'd be right in the same window that we're about to get the legislation passed for the Clarity Act, which I believe will be just as important and pivotal as the Telecommunications Act was for the internet boom of 1996. Now, with that being said, we will keep our eyes peeled. Remember, around the same time frame and window, we should see the case ending before then. We should see ETF approvals. We should see the Clarity Act passed. We should see Ripple just about to get their banking license and Federal Reserve Master account. A lot of critical things coming to a head right in that window there. We'll keep an eye on it. And I believe that Teucrium CEO Sal Gilberti here, who's an amazing person. This guy is so cool. We got to get him on the show. He really does believe that Ripple can hopefully replace Swift someday. And you know what? I think some kind of a collaboration, merger, whatever partnership will take place because, you know, what RippleNet does is much more than what Swift is able to do. Where Swift is just messaging, we have to understand that RippleNet can do messaging and liquidity combined. And we already know they're deeply working with Swift and Citibank on those measures. So we'll see how that actually takes shape after everything becomes law. And the world of finance is able to use distributed ledger technology and digital assets for their benefit. Meanwhile, South Korea's BDAC launches institutional custody for XRP via Ripple custody. How about this? Now, I think we all know, if you've been here for a second, you know how enormous South Korea's market is for XRP. It is massive. And the fact that they just launched institutional custody for XRP via Ripple's custody is super exciting because institutions want it. But everybody says we got nothing. They're going to find out after legislation becomes law exactly what's going on out here and where the effort has been for more than a decade. You just wait. Official 2025 European Banking Authority logs reveal 2 private meetings with Ripple on real USD issuance in the EU and MiCA regulation. Shout out to Smoke Dog as always. There's your meeting right there. And there's meeting with Ripple, update on progress of USD issuance in the EU. And here's the meeting noted again on the 1st, 28th of 25, another meeting, right? So this to me is really exciting because I see the global coordination preparing the XRP Ledger and XRP and real USD for major use inside the financial system as soon as we have the clarity for it. Now, here is a little clip here showing you UAE. Take a listen to this. Shout out to Omonix.
Watch out! This UAE bank could soon send millions through XRP. Brack Bank may have just taken the first step toward a full XRP integration by launching this. Get this! Ripple holds the UAE's first ever DFSA blockchain payments license. They already powers cross-border payments for Zand Bank and Mamo, and even tokenizes $325 million in Dubai real estate on the XRP Ledger. Now add Ripple's regulated stablecoin, RLUSD, approved in Dubai's financial center, DIFC, and you realize that you've got a ready-made running financial system built for banks. Now, Rack Bank just became the first bank in the UAE to offer crypto trading, and they may become the first to switch over to XRP fully. They offer their services to 91.7 thousand medium-sized businesses, which would drive massive volume through the RippleNet.
Now take that and apply it by multiple countries. That's what's waiting for us. And in the interim, Stuart Alderati thanks the Banking GOP for the opportunity to respond to your request for information, as known as a RFI. With over a decade of experience working with regulators all over the world and hard-earned lessons from our SEC fight, Ripple welcomes the chance to offer our unique perspective as Congress advances legislation that protects consumers and unlocks crypto innovation. There you have that. Shout out to him. And here's the letter in response. It is basically some general questions here, right, of how the market should be dealt with market infrastructure, and they respond to it. I'm not going to break down each point. I think most of it you would know anyway. But the point is that they're engaged heavily with the U.S. government and the Senate in providing comments and clarity on market structure. As well they should be, because I believe that the XRP Ledger will be adopted as a national and international payment protocol. That's how I see it. SEC declares stablecoins as cash. Now, this is a very big deal right here because we know that this opens the door for the financial institutions to come on in, baby. Yes, indeedy. No doubt about it. And I'm super excited for it. Griegos Vlachos, co-founder of Axelar, said that real USD will boost XRP demand, strengthening XRP regulations clarity benefits. When do those transfers, you pay for gas, when you do those transfers, you pay for gas in XRP. So the XRP holders are still going to benefit because you burn some XRP every time you do a transaction. So just out of the gate, you're burning XRP because they have to use it for gas on the network. This is just one aspect here. Not to mention, corporate treasuries will soak up XRP and hold it. ETFs will soak up XRP and hold it. Automated market makers will soak up XRP and hold it. You know, so on and so on and so on. The market makers that make markets every day for market participants will need XRP because it will be very efficient for them. So they will want to hold as much of it as possible. You could see the upward pressure that is coming to this scenario very quickly once we have clear rules to the road and laws for the land so the financial world could use this. It's so exciting. We're getting so close now. And in doing so, this here from Papa says XRP repeating 2017. If so, we're in the final week before. He's looking here. December 17. I remember 2018 bull run. Oh my God, it was something to take note. It was something to witness, to behold. I'm telling you, it really was. And that last 26 days of that bull run was something else. I'll never forget it. Well, quite possibly, Papa believes that we are lining up for that kind of scenario at the end of the year once again. And it could begin in the next week or so. I don't know. I know one thing. We need to see all that fundamental news we talked about, including the Clarity Act becoming law, for any of this to be a really solid conversation at my house. But you know what? I just laid out that window and all the amazing things that will unfold in a very short period of time between now and the end of the year. So you tell me what kind of market we're going to experience. What do you think will happen? Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I say bring on the 2017, 2018 bull run in 25. I got room on my bingo card for it. I'll catch all of you on the next one.